Let's get through it first. So Four of Pentacles, the comfort zone, right? Now, this isn't always a bad thing. I've had people ask me that, saying, is the Four of Pentacles always a bad thing? No. No card is always a bad thing. It works on a spectrum, right? So we have the highest vibration of a card and we have the lowest vibration of the card. The highest vibration of the Four of Pentacles is that you know what is of value to you. And if you follow me on Instagram and you've been following the Taurus Manifestation Challenge that we've been doing, I talked about this. This is that life raft. You know, when we're on that piddly little raft, we want something new. We want to go, we want that job, the relationship, whatever, or expansion or growth, the Empress. We want that. And yet we're stuck. We're afraid to let go of the raft that we're on. We don't want to dive into the maybe shark infested waters, right? And so this is not always a bad thing. We know what's of value to us. We've reached a place of stability. It might not look like much to other people, but it's all that you have. It's of value to you. And Taurus season is big on that. You know, what is of value to you? Who is of value to you? So it's holding on to what's of value to you. Sometimes that's all you can do. That's why it's the miser card. If you only had 4 gold coins or 4 pentacles lying around, you're not going to just leave them lying around. You're going to hold on to them because that's all you have. And yet, what this card says is that nothing ventured, nothing gained. If you don't risk your security or stability, or, you know, in this case of this person, she lets go of those, invests them, spends them, does something with what she has, she won't get more. She won't lose what she has. And sometimes that's all we can have. But then it's about owning that. Now, the fact that it's coming up as an underlying energy, those of you that are happy with where you are and are ready to hold on to it, then I don't feel like the rest of the message would be for you. Because it's not about that. This is only the underlying energy. So it might be that, you know, coming into this week, that's where you are. I need to hold on to what I have. The world is coming up with this. Now, the world, it is actually a victory card. No, it doesn't feel like it. She's sat on top of the world there. Look at the butterflies. It's almost like that's her victory wreath. There's always a victory wreath in the world card. Hers are made up of butterflies because she's gone for this transformation. And the world signifies the end of a major life cycle. Major life cycle. You have 7 cards in front of you here. 3 of them are major arcana cards. So that's, you know, our life path. There's a big change coming in there. And yet with the world card, what it basically says, you know, we might not see anything different around us, especially with that card coming up. The job's the same. The relationships are the same, you know, wherever you are. But the world card is saying, look, you have gained everything that you need to out of that situation. It's Saturnian lessons. You've reached the end of that cycle. You've taken anything now. If you kind of stay in those situations, and when we stay in situations, that doesn't mean physically leaving. Everything is always about us internally first. Then the changes play out around us. The Hermit says that here. And so the world card is saying to you, look, you've learned the way things are. You've kind of gained everything that you can out of it. It's changed you. It's transformed you. You've reached the top of that mountain. Enjoy the view for a moment because you're going elsewhere. Now, a lot of you have been left like this thinking, oh my God, you know, all right, fine. Got to this place now. Can we just stop here for a moment? I don't want to go for, what do I do? But it's big. The reason there's this coming up where you're trying to play it safe, I think for some of you, for others of you, you're kind of weighing up the cost of what it's going to cost you to do this. How long it's going to take you. That's another thing I'm getting from this is timing. Is the 10 of Pentacles coming up here? You know, it's your legacy. This is why it feels so big. What did I come here to do? Some of you might be asking yourself that. Did I come here just to be in these kinds of relationships, to do this kind of a job? Is this what I truly came here to do? Now, even if you're committed to a person, a path, a situation, whatever, when you get this kind of an energy, there's something in that dynamic that is asking to be changed. It's asking to be changed. I think it's how much you get out of it. And whatever we talk about, whatever we get out of a situation, it's always about how much we put into it as well, right? Well, we'll get into that. So 10 of Pentacles is the legacy card. I always see this as the oak tree, that mighty oak tree that has been stood there for hundreds of years. And nothing's going to take it down. It's sturdy and it's strong. This card comes up usually in this kind of a position when I get clients coming to me and they're saying, how do I find a long-term committed partnership? How do I pick my path? How do I do that career or build that business that I want to do? Time, my lovelies. Time is what it takes. Especially with Saturn coming up there, you know, the card for Saturn. Saturn is old father time. And that's what the 10 of Pentacles is. And I remind you That oak tree never comes in fully formed. It's not going to come, an oak tree just shows up at your door. It doesn't work that way. This is the work of a lifetime. This is why it's called your legacy. It's what you commit to long term. And so there is this kind of weighing up. And I know I don't have the Two of Pentacles here, but I can almost see it or feel it. With this coming up, it's like, well, I've finally gotten to this kind of place of stability and security. Do I have enough to kind of commit to this path or this legacy? Or, some of you might be thinking, is it time now to nurture this, to grow this, to whatever it is that you're coming to? The energies can be applied to any area of your life. Now, for some of you, with the Page of Pentacles coming up as a past foundation. So, it's the past, it's the foundation of the present. Last week, last month, last year, it doesn't matter. Page of Pentacles here means you've either put a little bit into this or you've gained a little bit back. There's been something small here. So value to you. It's giving you that foundation that you're at. But the Page of Pentacles, it's also the student. I see this as the student, the one who revises and keeps going over the same kind of texts and stuff to learn what they need to learn. But you've already learned that. The World card tells you that. You've learned everything that you need to. So literally, some of you might have been a student. I don't know, been taking evening courses or doing a degree or whatever it is that you've been doing. But because the Page of Pentacles goes over it and over it again. This is also boring. When I first started learning the tarot, and I had my own reactions to some of the cards, and I always saw the Page of Pentacles as boredom, but it was always temporary. A situation where we couldn't really progress and grow and do more because it was about studying at that time, whether it's studying life, or we didn't have a lot to put into something. It was repetition. Sustained effort in that area was going to get us what we wanted. And that's the Page of Pentacles. It's come up in the past. You've done that. You've done that. But I kind of feel like you're being directed, Gemini, to look at the bigger picture now. Like, where are you going? What was the point of doing that? Whatever little bits and pieces you've been doing or you've been going through. Because Pentacles are about our security, our stability, our support system. It's the physical. So that's our physical bodies. That's our money in the bank, investment, savings, our homes, even our relationships. Anything that gives us physical security and support. It's what we're building. But it always comes from the seed. I always see the Pentacles as the seeds as well. We plant that seed. You have that seed at least now. So what does that mean? Well, you have the Empress coming up in the present. And the Empress is about growth, abundance. The seed has been planted. She's the mother, right? We will see in this deck, you see a pregnant woman. What does the Empress understand? She understands that, she can give birth to anything that she wants to, for starters. She understands there's a season for everything. That's why we always see crops behind her, because, there's a season for that. There's a time to plant the seeds, a time to cultivate them, to harvest them. There's a season for everything. She understands this. And so she brings that. I mean, that's her message to you. If it's worth doing, it's going to take time to do this. 10 of Pentacles. But it's long-term commitment. Long-term commitment. Now, think about that in terms of where you are. There's a situation coming up. It's going to take you, to commit to this fully. That this is it. I need to kind of really, I'm going to show up every day and I'm going to do this. I'm going to grow that oak tree. But I need to nurture that plant every single day. But you've just come out of this. And so there might be a sense of, for some of you, this is a relationship. You've got the opportunity to grow a relationship now, but you might have already just come out of something serious. So it's like, am I ready to do this again? It's that kind of energy. Or, for work, this is almost like, I'm taking some time off. Maybe I'll take a gap year, and you get that offer. You get that offer of that job that you're like, what? I thought I was going to go off and travel the world or go do something. Now, it feels uncomfortable because that's the whole point of the Four of Pentacles. It pulls you out of your comfort zone. Pulls you out of your comfort zone. And yet with the Empress here, she's a master manifester. She can have anything that she wants. But she nurtures it. That's how she makes it. She gives birth to it and then she nurtures it. Same way as a mother. Every mother knows that. First, it takes you time to get pregnant. Then you have to be pregnant, grow the baby within you. Then even when you give birth to it, you must nurture and care for the baby even more. And that's kind of what this is. And that's the big question here. How committed are you to what you want to do? That'll get you out of the comfort zone. I keep saying this to people recently. There's a million reasons for why you shouldn't do something. All you need is one good reason for why you should. What is that one good reason? And it will get you out of this. It will get you out of your comfort zone. And I feel like you've gained that. It's knowledge that you've gained. The World card is saying this. there's almost a sense of the magician here, which is very easy to say to Gemini because that's the card for Mercury, right? So it kind of feels like that way for you guys, but it's almost that, you know, you have everything that you need. You have everything that you need. Little by little, you've been kind of storing it away. So you have everything that you need now to commit, but it's that question mark of, do I do it? Do I take that final step? Do I do that final push? You can. You can. But you have the Hermit coming up here. And the Hermit is a card, it's a card of self-empowerment. That's how I see the Hermit card. I know people see it as being alone, you know, taking a step back and doing all of that. But why? Why does the Hermit go off alone? Why does the Hermit go off to seek answers within? Because the Hermit is looking for where can the Hermit affect change in a situation? Where does the Hermit have the power to change a situation? It's the card for Virgo. So it's a card of discernment. It's a card of discernment. And what does that mean? It means what gives me hope? How do I feel within? What's going on inside of me? Before I start building this, before I commit to this. Because if this is a should, then yeah, the pause is great. If you're kind of saying, well, I should do this, I studied for this, and, you know, all of that, that's not the right way to go about it. Because you're kind of forcing yourself to do something. You're going to commit to it more when you get that one good reason, and that good reason comes from within you. The lantern that the Hermit has, it usually has a star within it. Don't know if you can see a star within this one, but usually there's a star within that, and that's your hope. What gives you hope? What lights the way for you? Now, I want to be clear on this. I feel like this is a great opportunity. She says that. The Empress coming up there says that. But what I will say to you is, this is masquerading itself as you looking at what's in front of you and thinking, well, I don't know if it's worth the risk. I'll just keep, doing what I'm doing. But the Ten of Swords here in your advice is telling you, look, your pause is because of what happened in the past. It's the shadow of when you were betrayed in the past, or you didn't do well in the past, or it's general. It's some of you, you're being very hard on yourself because you feel you messed up in the past. Ten of Swords isn't always what someone does to us, it's what we do sometimes as well. None of us are perfect, right? Or even in the fact that we're not perfect, that's what makes us perfect. We're a work in progress and a masterpiece all at the same time. And yet I want to allay your fears around the Ten of Swords because, yeah, things might have gone tits up in the past. The Ten of Swords says that. But the world says that's done. The 10 says that cycle's complete. So if we're allowing this to affect us now, it's the shadow of it. It's the nightmare of it. It's thoughts. That's what the swords represent. Our thoughts, our beliefs, our ideas. And yet they're coming from when we had a loss in the past. And that's how the mind works. It always goes back to, remember the last time we did this, that happened. But you're giving birth to something new. You're different now. The Hermit says that. I want you to think about the Hermit. The Hermit's number 9 in the Major Arcana. The Major Arcana can be said to be split into 3 parts. And this is kind of the end of the first third of the Major Arcana. And it's usually, here she looks like kind of a little elfin thing who's wandered off by herself. But it's usually an elderly man in the traditional Rider-Waite. And he's off contemplating what he's learned from his life. What did he learn from that? Not looking at what's around him. Because we have a tendency when Pentacles come up to look at what is in front of us. To respond and react to the external. And yet if we only did that, we would never give birth to anything. That's the Empress. She looks at what's within her and she brings that out into the world. The Hermit is very internal energy as well. So if you're not right with this on the inside, and a lot of that is because of what happened in the past, then that's the issue here. It's not what you can get. Because when Pentacles come up like that, sometimes we have this thing of, well, where's the guarantee? What am I going to get out of it? You bring the guarantee. You bring that. Let's get you some clarifiers. So let's see why that Hermit's coming up as a future energy. Why do we have the Hermit in the future? I think it's with that 10 of Pentacles. It's because, do I commit to this? Can I do this? Yeah. 8 of Wands. So the 8 of Wands, it's the opportunities are going to come in, guys. But it's when you're sure about it from within. It happens that way round. Right now, some of you might be looking at around you and thinking, I don't really have anything to go with. The Hermit says you bring it into play. You bring your power to this. And then things get moving very quickly. 8 of Wands, opportunities, communication. racing ahead. I actually like this 8 of Wands rather than those arrows or the ones that we usually see flying through the air. Here we see a group of unicorns running towards us. Now, I want you to imagine you're stood on the pathway here, because this can be very overwhelming, the 8 of Wands. There's almost a sense of, I'm not ready for this. That's what I'm getting from this. It's now or never. That's what that kind of energy comes up. I don't believe in never. It's just, if that opportunity is there now, do you have a good reason for why you don't want to do it? And some of you do. Some of you do. Well, then it's owning that. That helps us too. But she's about abundance and growth. So it's expansion that's coming in here. So with the 8 of Wands coming in, that's communication, yes. But if you were stood in the pathway here and you have these unicorns racing towards you, that can be frightening, right? If you just stand still and do nothing, you're going to get trampled. They're going to run straight over you. So what would you do? Run with them. The unicorns is fantasy. So, are you going to run with them? Maybe jump on one of them, but you're going to let this energy sweep you along, take you to where it's going. But this is open and direct communication, using the energy that's there, but it comes from within. For some of you, you might have to be the person who puts that out there, because this can be about the information that we need, but the Hermit's coming up. So figure out what information you need to make you feel secure to commit to this. If that's what it is, then ask the questions. For others of you, it's expressing that from within, saying, no, I have this desire to go do this. I have this desire to express this. Wands. Beautiful. I love this because what I say, number 9, right? You get right within first. What are your reasons? Where do you have the power to affect change? The Hermit. Number 9. Well, there you go. There's number 10. The Wheel of Fortune. The opportunities come in. When we get right within ourselves, decide, yes, I'm in, I'm committed, I'm going to give it my best shot. You send that out. You send that information out. Now, this is where the wheel turns. It says that you might not have done well in the past. This might have happened before. Doesn't mean it will happen again. That wheel is always turning. It's a new season, a new day. You may not have been ready for it in the past. Nothing to say that you're not ready for it now. But we do this thing of, I'll believe it when I see it. No, this is, I believe it. Not even I believe it. I believe me. I believe I'm going to give this a shot. I believe I can do this. I can commit to this. I can grow this. I can expand this. I can have this. A little bit of a crisis of faith coming up here, but in oneself, I kind of get that. But the opportunity, trust that, guys. This is looking back. This is looking forward. Both of these cards talk about opportunities. But if we're not looking for those opportunities, and think about it, she comes up first. So it's almost like you create that opportunity. You create it. And it's only an opportunity if you want it. I mean, I'll give you an example. So, there's always people that they want to be my friend, or, you get asked out. Now, that's an opportunity for me to have new friends or to have a new lover or something. But it doesn't feel like an opportunity if you don't want it, if you're not ready to commit to something. But if you are ready to commit to it. So if I did want to date someone, then every person that I meet is going to be like a potential. Do you see what I mean? It's when we are open and ready for the opportunities, then we start to see them. If we're only focused on what we have right now, then we're not going to see the new opportunities. We're just reacting to what is, not the potential for what could be. And the Wheel of Fortune says the time is now. The time is now. Right, that one. All right, see, this is around the 10 of Swords. So we have forgiveness coming up. Nothing can be gained by holding on to past disappointments. Whoever this message is for, let's be clear. Let's just own it. That is the reason there's a pause here, or there's doubt here, or discomfort and thing, because things went to shit in the past with that 10 of Swords. But the writing is on the wall, my lovelies, with the 10 of Swords. You know that how you did that situation. You know what happened to you in that situation. Nothing can be gained. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. That's the 4 of Pentacles. And that's what's holding you back. And it's fair enough. No one can tell you how to forgive, how long it takes you to forgive. That is a process. And maybe that's what that Hermit kind of inside is for. Think about this. If I'm going to hold on to how I was treated in my last job, or my ex, what my ex did to me. Imagine I did that, held on to that. Now, that's the story that I'm telling myself. I always get treated like shit in jobs, or, people are always going to hurt me or betray me, or I just meet losers or fake people. Yeah, that's the story I'm telling. So that's all I'm going to see around me, because that's the filter that I'm using to view the world. Now, I'm not saying, like I said, that you don't have good reason to feel that way. But when we don't forgive, we're not hurting anyone else. We're hurting ourselves. And it is a process. And forgiveness is not about condoning what was done. It's about freeing yourself, not living that same incident again and again and again. And I kind of feel like this might have been something that happened way in the past for some of you. You're at a better place. Trust that. You're out of that. Whatever you were meant to gain from that, you got it. It's time for new, Empress. But it all starts from within you. She gives birth to it. He understands where he's coming from within. You bring the proof. You bring the trust. Okay, so look. Yeah, I get this. And I kind of feel like that's what that Wheel of Fortune is saying as well. So you got a change in the wind. A change in the wind. Now we can kind of sense that something's coming in. Is that what's making you cling even tighter to what you have? Because there is change coming. Sometimes it can be, we see a change in the people around us. We think, oh my God, are they going to do something or say something? Or, at work, there's rumors of a takeover or that they're letting people go, whatever. So a change in the wind is when we kind of sense or know that there's a change coming in. But what's to say it's not going to be a positive change for you? And, even if there's a storm that's about to roll in, when that storm passes, that's the beauty of chaos. I love chaos sometimes because I think when everything gets chaotic and then the storm blows in and then it blows out again, when the dust settles, when the storm passes, everything's changed. We have new opportunities coming up. There's a new way of doing things. Kind of a little bit of a tower energy. Not saying that you'll have a tower moment. I don't feel that. I feel like maybe there has been one. And now it's about looking for the opportunities that come out of it when you're coming out the other end.